Chris. He's one of the participants in this brilliant documentary, Wargaming the movie. Welcome, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Thank you. So if you could tell us how you came about being in this project, please.
Yeah, certainly. I saw an advert online from Joe that he was putting together a documentary, Miniature Wargaming the movie. I reached out to him essentially saying, look, this is what I do for a living. Macrocosm Miniatures is a small cottage industry. Is there any way that we can actually participate in the movie? And he came back to me
and gave you the big thumb.
Yeah, he did indeed. And you get to see all of that in the movie.
Now, I've seen the film. I can't remember, it's 4 or 5 people, isn't there? That you kind of concentrate on your one. But what makes your segment different to the rest? What's your kind of angle in the film?
Well, it's following the story of us trying to put together a board game for a event called UK Games Expo, which is the UK's largest board game event. And our trials and tribulations of trying to get everything together and struggling against other competitors and big companies. And what it is that we have to go through on through the daily grind and the journey through that.
Now I'm really interested because what's interesting about this is the fact that how rare it is to see someone go from the initial concept of a board game to a finished article, and obviously this is tied into the fantasy, the Lord of the Rings, Warhammer and all that, not that you're necessarily using those because of course they're licensed, but even so, people see a board game is finished and think, oh, this must be 5 minutes per game. I know it isn't. I know it's a heck of a lot of work. So give us an idea of, I've got this idea, now let's get to, presumably you haven't finished yet, but how much work's gone into, how long has it taken, and how much grief has it been?
Well, let's start with the grief. It's been an awful lot of grief. People think that it's an easy idea to have this idea and we'll go out there and we'll make a board game out of it. But what they don't actually put together is that you need to have rules play tested, you have to have boxes printed, you have to have board game tiles done, the miniatures, the concept art for the sculptors to produce, you then have to have these things moulded up, you've got to have all the finances in place.
And this is all costing a lot of money.
It's all costing a lot of money before you even gone to something, say, like Kickstarter, because most people now on crowdfunding platforms want to have some inkling of what the finished product looks like before they put their money into it.
So you can't give them this esoteric idea that's out there in the ether. You've got to have something realistic because they're just not going to be interested, are they?
No, absolutely. And you want to have something. You want to have some sort of rule set there for them to see, so that they can maybe play it at home themselves first of all to see whether or not they actually like it. This is something that we didn't have in place throughout the movie, so we were learning by doing an awful lot.
So how long has it taken so far, and how long, when is this the beginning of the end, or as Churchill famously said, the end of the beginning?
That was the end of the beginning, definitely, to quote Winston Churchill. The simple fact of the matter is, not to give you any spoilers, but it doesn't go to plan.
Yes, because it's moved on even since then, hasn't it? So I'm making the assumption again, without spoilers, is there an end in sight now? Can you not say, or what's your gut feeling?
We have moved into a different direction.
Right.
We have produced a box game, which is a war game, not a board game, which is what we want to do. And we're taking the momentum from that and building on it. We need to do a bit more advertising. As I say, we're learning by doing. There's a limited budget for us. Hopefully we'll break into a bigger market soon, but we have an awful lot of work to do. Now we have a finished product, we have to do things like how to play videos, things like that. People want a lot more than a box. They want to know what's in the box, how to play with it, whether or not they're going to invest in it first. So
knowing all this now, you know I'm going to ask you, didn't you?
Would I have gone down that route from the beginning?
Well, would you have started any of this actually?
Absolutely.
You're still...
Oh, absolutely. I'm still out there banging the drum, big smile on my face.
Wow, and you ultimately are going to still try and get this board game?
Absolutely. We're going to make a few tweaks to it, and yeah, sometime in the future you'll see a board game from Macrocosm Miniatures.
Brilliant. That's it, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.